FEMME House fam, what's happening? It is HERMIXALOT, co-founder and head of culture of FEMME House. I am here for Pride Month, for Black Music Month with the iconic, the legendary, the incomparable, the FEMMY Pioneer, the Detroit Underground, above ground, through the ground, DJ Minx. Hello.
Hey, hey, what's up?
What an honor to share some space and do some talking.
It's always great to talk to you. I love them.
Um,
Miss you,
I,
LP.
I know we miss LP. For those of you that don't know, LP was supposed to join us. She might still join us, but she was having some illness earlier. So I don't know if she'll make it, but hopefully, if not, get
She's
well
okay.
soon. LP, we love you. I'm gonna just
Mhm.
dive right in. I am so curious about what was the spark in your young self that started your artistic journey all the way to legendhood, honey?
Girl, on the real tip, me starting to DJ was actually because of a challenge. Because
No
I
way.
wasn't really trying to just like go to the club and be like, I'm gonna be a DJ and I'm this or that. It wasn't like that. It was watching a DJ perform and seeing how great he was. And since I was shy, that was the thing about it. Since I was shy, I figured if I did something like that, I could make people move the way he does. So
Mm.
that's what kind of did it.
Do
But
you
then
do
my
you still feel shy? Because I don't experience you that way.
guy, you just don't know it because you know, we know each other now, but and a lot of people might not believe, but I am. I've always been. Um, I'm still gonna get out there and do my thing because when I play music, I don't really have to talk. I let that speak
Mm.
for me. So that's my power in that.
There's a lot of power in silence. There's a lot of power in just falling into your gifts and letting your gifts speak for you, huh?
Absolutely. Let it be the
So, I know that we've talked a lot about Kay Hand and how she inspired you and sort of the representation that she offered to you as you started to get into this. Can you talk a little bit more about her and educate the children?
let the children know that Kay Han is the first woman to have a record label, a techno label in Detroit. First woman producer. So Kelly was kind of quiet herself, but she was monstrous in what she did as far as producing music and sending it out to the masses. Now, when I first started playing, I didn't know about Kelly. I just happened to meet her one day when going to a friend's house. And then I started to kind of put together that K Hand was Kelly Hand. And it was the
Mm,
Kelly that I was kind of having conversations with. She was a very humble, wonderful person. And she was definitely an inspiration in terms of having a label and being the only one to do that. I never thought that I would be running a record label until I thought about the fact that, well, she does it.
mm.
So we'll get into the record label thing as far as me starting it later. But Kelly was definitely an inspiration to everyone. If she wasn't already from being on the scene, she used to dance on the scene on this TV show every
That's
week.
that's crazy.
The girl
Um,
was bad.
would you say then that like watching Kelly and all she did as a DJ and as a businesswoman is sort of like the impetus behind Women on Wax, or if you really like sit with it?
Hey, your voice cut out for a second.
I said, if we're talking about Kelly and your sort of your admiration for her as both a DJ and a businesswoman, like at the end of the day, would you say that like she's sort of the impetus behind Women on Wax? Like when you finally got to that portion, were you thinking, "Yo, Kelly did this, I could do this."
Absolutely. Because it was so much that it sat in our faces as far as us being women. And we were put in a bubble.
Mm.
So we had limits according to what was going on the outside of us. And with her running her label and getting her music to the masses, absolutely, that was definitely an inspiration.
I'm curious about those limits. I mean, I think that one thing that we try to sort of stay mindful of at FEMME House, especially with this sort of newer educational programming, like these chats that I have with folks like yourself, is like, history is damned to repeat itself if you don't learn something and do something different.
Okay.
And I'm curious about sort of your lens in that time of like the boxes and sort of the ghettoization of women producers and women DJs, and how that sort of, do you see that still today? Do you like, I'm just, let's zoom out and then zoom back in, if you'll allow me.
So if we're coming from the backside,
Hmm.
zooming out,
Hmm.
I absolutely see the same things happening today. But there are more powerful women out here that's putting together record labels and doing the damn thing. I mean, who would have ever thought that? Not doing this because you're on the phone, but who would have ever thought that we would have an awards show for women,
Yo.
just for women and
Yeah.
music?
Yeah.
When I got the call, I was shocked. It was like this is actually happening. So yes, we had all sort of limitations put before us because it was drilled in our heads that this is a man's world,
Mm.
and we just, for me, that gave me strength. That gave me strength. That made me stronger. At first, I was very, very weak because, of course, I believed it. I felt it. I lived it. Uh, if the majority of the people weren't saying that you shouldn't be doing this in so many words, then it was others saying that what are you doing? But I had my mentors backing me. And if it wasn't
Mm.
for Gerald and Serena Tyler, this, this would not be me. Serena constantly told me, I believed in you before you believed in yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, it was so much negativity going on. But right now, we are running these businesses, we're running these labels, and we're headlining festivals. So this is where the puck is going, and this is going to be happening going forward. Absolutely, if we keep the education out there and let these ladies know that they can do it too. Ladies, them, theys, these, any of them
Yeah.
that identify, this can actually be done. Don't stop. Let's go.
You know what's so powerful in that sharing, and thank you for sharing that, is like, the recipes to success, the recipes to pushing forward, the recipes to progress remain the same, like community, allyship, representation. Those
Absolutely.
things were true when you were starting. You've been that for us starting. Aluna, I said this at the Femmies, Aluna, Unique, TT the Artist, LPGOB, all these women, Susie Analog, all these women that have stepped into their power and used their power first to take charge of themselves and their communities. Um, that's how you affect change. That's how you create progress. So we thank you for affecting that change for us, and we really thank Kelly Cahan for affecting that change for you so that you could do that for us.
Absolutely. Yes. We love you, Kelly. Yes. It just has to be some doors opened in order for us to know that we can actually, someone had to make the step first. And so I am thankful, and I am thankful to actually share with the generations to come that this can actually be done. We're bosses.
That's what you do too. I mean, you pour so much into the community at large. And I remember after the Femmies, I was talking to Holographic, and she was just in tears, child, screaming, crying, throwing up about how impactful and important you've been to her career and to just her as a person, with a shared lived experience. And that's, like I said, man, that's the recipe for progress, and that recipe ain't changed.
Yeah. Gotta keep that flowing. That's not going to.
Yeah.
Seriously. I love her. She's made me proud. She's doing an absolutely fantastic job bossing it up out here around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Speaking of bossing it up around the world, LP
well,
lives. She's
Hello guys,
here.
sorry
and
about that.
breathes. Hello,
Sorry,
my
sorry.
love.
I was
It's
actually
fine.
getting my marriage license. So that
Whoa.
Huh?
what?
You are
What?
on your way, girl. Stop it.
shout out to the power suit that's inexplicably hanging behind you
And
right
that's
now.
actually my dad is gonna eventually he's marrying us, and that is the suit he'll be wearing. I'm in my mom's office right now, so I'm home. Anyways, yeah. I'm curious, Minx, who else are you seeing, in the holographic world, coming up in your scene that we should be, checking out and watching and listening for?
Ooh.
If you're not already, oof. Well then, let's not just pick
Potentially.
and choose a few, huh? You know, there is music ghetto tech here in Detroit, and I absolutely love the ladies that are putting it together here. So they need to be checked out. AK is a great DJ. Um, we know Tisha.
Mm,
A
mm. Did you see her at
and
Movement?
Abundance. Yes.
How was Movement this year?
Yeah. It was it was wonderful. Hopefully you'll be back next year
I have to be.
as a
I
missus.
I have to be. I've only been once, and that time I was like, I get it. I get how deeply important this event is. I mean, it's so much more than a festival. Yeah, it's the this is where it all started. You can feel that. I mean, it was
Yeah.
wild. It was almost intimidating,
Fair.
scary, and overwhelming too. As a girl from Oregon, I was like, whoa, I have a lot. It was just like going to master classes, really, the whole
Oh,
weekend. It was so cool.
wow. Yeah.
Does it feel the
I love
same
that.
to you, Minx? Like I know you were obviously at the very first movement. Like what are the vibes like in 2000, 1999, 2000 to 2025? Like does it feel the same? Obviously, you've come a long way. You've got your own stage
I
there
mean,
now.
you're the
Like
queen of
yeah.
movement. Like you are, when I think of movement, I think of like you are literally the mayor of movement. Yeah,
What?
for sure.
I thank you for that. You know what? I think more and more each year, I think it gets more intense for me. And it's not just because I have a stage, it's because of the coming together of the masses. And I think each year, more people, when I travel, we're coming to movement. We'll see you at movement. I was at
Mm.
last movement, and I get to know more and more people that have been there that I didn't know. So we create friends every year, and or should I say, more family. When they first did the first one, when Carl Craig did DEMF, which was the Detroit Electronic Music Festival first, that was an awakening because it was a free festival. Anyone could walk through the gates. There weren't even gates up. They could just come in and party at each stage, and it was like no other. I mean, it was the news. All the news channels were there filming, and it was a lot for everyone because it was a new thing. A lot of people did not know about techno and house music, but they learned that day. And I mean, like elderly people, babies, everyone was out there dancing and fell in love with the music immediately. And that was just the first year. And it grew and grew and grew. And so it is what it is today. And yes, I have a stage. When they told me I had a stage, I was like, what? Are you serious? And they kept talking. Let's go back to the fact that you have a stage. I have a stage. It took me out. My gosh, my heart was so full. And I almost at that moment didn't know what to do. I was already losing it well in advance because I knew like after the movement before that I was going to have a stage, but I was not mentally prepared until it came upon the day of. And just seeing the love and realizing how many people listen to my music and love me, I'm in tears every year. This year is no different. It's beautiful. I get the lineup of the best people, in my opinion. I love all of my friends, new and old, and we're just gonna keep doing this yearly reunion thing.
Yeah, you've earned it. You've definitely earned it.
I
Thank
really
you.
love Minx. This sort of like I sort of I almost think of your at least your public facing career, right, as like an act, like you haven't hit your third act yet. You know what I mean? That's like a play in two acts, and it's just like you know, the first act is just like you're out there, you're hustling, hustling, step back a little bit. Um, you sort of come back into the public sphere. You come back as your full self. You literally come out of the closet, like, and we'll talk about that in a second. And it's just been like power move after power move after power move after power move ever since. And I love it because to me, it's such a really wonderful example of demanding your flowers while you're here to
Mhm.
smell them. And also the power of giving flowers to the people that need them and deserve them and have earned them while they are here to reap the benefits. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like this idea that like you've created this community throughout, you know, your 30, 40 year long career of people of generations that just want to throw roses at your feet. You know what I mean? Like that is so that's so powerful. And that's sort of like that's one of my favorite things about you as an artist and as a DJ and as a producer and as a businesswoman. You've like sort of demanded this space that you've, you know, taken up, and also people have really met you with a lot of love and spaciousness, and this space is really great.
I think you know your power, but I have a little anecdotal story about this. My
Yeah, let's go.
one and only time I played movement, I you know, was extremely nervous because this is like one of the few really educated crowds in the US, yeah, I would say, you know, and so I felt like a lot of I wanted to prove myself, and I turned to side stage, and there DJ Minx was standing, watching my set, like wasn't even on her phone, was glued in, was watching, showed up, and the I mean, yes, it made me extremely nervous, but also the confidence it gave me and the I don't know, I just felt like I had, you know, one of the most important people at this whole thing in my corner, and it just uh it it got me through, and yeah, I just want to I hope you know how powerful you are and even just, you know, showing up.
Oh, I had to see you. You know, we have the Movement app, right? And I, as an artist at Movement, every year download the app and pop my artists that I want to see. And a lot of people don't know that this app will alert you. LPGOB goes on in 15 minutes. Get to
Wait,
the
that's
stage.
incredible.
Yeah, it is. That app is, yes, honey, that keeps
Oh,
me
next time.
ticking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So just gotta have it. And I happen to be in an artist center. The artist center is behind the main stage, and you played the main stage. So I saw that you were going on, and I saw you go up there. And so we, you know, finished our lunch and waited, and then that's when we went up there to see you. So
Mhm.
it was wonderful to see you and support and hear you. You did such a great job.
Thank you.
Golden fingers.
Anyways, I appreciate that. But yeah, I just think it's like to know how busy you are, especially at that event, and you know, just to show up for a younger artist who's just trying to prove to people that I can do this, guys. It's just like is really life changing for people like me. So thank you.
Oh, but of course, absolutely. I'm there as much as I can be.
Minx, you model. It sounds like what was sort of model for you early in your career. You talk a lot about the people that sort of created space for you and showed up for you and acted as your cheerleader. You just mentioned Card Craig, Kevin Sanderson, Lori Gavor. Talked about King Hand earlier. Can you talk about like what you learned from those folks and as far as like what it means to sort of lower the ladder as you climb it to make sure that, you know, there's other people able to hold on to it, follow you up?
Let me talk about Miss Laura Gavor. Laura was the initial promoter that pushed to help women here in Detroit. And I hadn't realized at the time that she was also helping the guys and doing a lot for them. She put together an event for a few of us ladies at the State Theater downtown on Woodward Avenue. And our names were on the marquee above. And she always put on events that had like huge followings, like a lot of people would attend them. She was a great promoter and unfortunately left us at an early age. I'll get to the I get to the label part later on that. Kevin, Mr. KMS, one of the educators of the techno movement. I used to go to his studio all the time in Detroit, and I used to go there before I wanted to learn how to DJ. But he was always in a studio room. He had several studios in his building. He was always in there making music, and a lot of the people from the other studios would go in with him because he was the one that spoke to them about what was happening. He, directing the music and how this was going to sound and how that, and everything he did was top notch. Very, very well put together. I mean, he's got some hits out there. That's why they call him the elevator, because he keeps rising and keeps going to the top. Mr. C, Carl, C2. I used to not really talk to Carl because Carl was always damn secretive. He always had some damn secrets. And it wouldn't even be secrets that he didn't need, that she was just, I can't tell you. Always something that Carl could not share. Now, I can't say that right now. But then when Planet E came out, he started really talking. And I happened to be on a Zoom meeting with Carl and Stacy Pullen and Seth Chuckster, a lot of gentlemen, and I was the only woman on the Zoom. And they were all talking about music production. And this is during COVID. So everybody was at home. And they were all talking about producing music and, man, do you remember when I put this on your track, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, damn, I wish someone would help me like that. Carl said, what? And boom, he sent me a message. Call me. I talked to Carl, and Carl said, don't ever struggle. Whatever you need, you let us know. He said, because you're so quiet. Didn't I say, Hermix? I'm shy. You're so quiet. Nobody ever knew that you needed help because you always seem so independent, like you're always doing things on your own. So nobody knew. He said, call me for whatever. He said, whatever, I got you. You need keyboards? I got my boy John Dixon. You need this? I got you. And as busy as he is and was, he was always right there.
So cool.
Family.
Oh, I love hearing that.
Family.
Is that support sort of part and parcel of like how Women on Wax turned from sort of like collective to like full on label?
Absolutely. That was the party I was talking about regarding State Theater with Laura Gavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was at that party when Moody Man came in. But Moody Man had been watching me and going when I played different parties. Like I'd see him in the audience, just standing and looking at me. And, he would disappear, of course, before I was done playing. I could never talk to him. But that particular night, he stayed there. And he just asked me, are you ready for your label? And I said, no. He said, yes, you are. And he asked for a piece of vinyl, and he took the vinyl and he wrote on it. And he gave me instructions. I still have that piece of vinyl. Made 4 tracks. Call me. I'm going to listen to them, and I'm going to get them pressed. He said, we're going to do your first 4 releases. What? I said, I don't know how to produce music, Kenny. He said, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You all you do is make the kind of shit you play. Oh, you badass. You got to go next level. So you need to produce music. And so the next day, I called had to call my girl, the mentee, Serena Kenny, said to me, and she said, okay, baby, well, you better come on over here. You got to make music. I was like, okay, thank you. So I went to her house and she showed me how to produce tracks. And I was like, this is crazy. And I made 4 tracks. It took maybe a couple of weeks or whatever. I made the tracks and I called Kenny. And I told him, Kenny, I did my tracks. He's like, really? Okay, send them, let me hear them. I listened to him and call me back. Okay, baby, start on 4 more. Excuse me? was like, what do you mean? Start for more. You can't break. You got to keep this going. He said, this is how you build. You have to keep it coming. Keep the music coming. So we worked on more tracks, and I just kind of kept it going from there. So Rudy, with his support, is definitely the way I got my label going. And he said there was no other name you needed other than Woman on Wax, because that's how people knew me, and I needed to keep that name going.
How
Well, here
long
it is,
Yeah.
etched in stone. Shit.
how long
August
do you feel
23rd.
like it took you to make to create a song that matched the caliber of what was in your head?
It took a while. It took a while because I didn't grasp the concept of the elements I needed to use to make the sounds. I had to find my sound, and that took a while. Uh, I, in the beginning, didn't know the different elements, like a synth or stab. Like I had to differentiate, and that it took me some time to get there. But once I got there, what?
I can attest. I was just playing a gig in I was playing a B2B with Honeylove actually at an Insomniac festival, and she was coming with the heat. She was coming, and I was like, "Oh shit." And so what I did is I just searched your name in the CDJ, and I knew that if it was one of your tracks, it could compete with the heat she was bringing. So you did it. You figured it out.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it took some time. It took some time to get
Yeah.
there.
I feel like I still haven't
Yeah.
gotten there, so that's nice to hear.
Do you have any advice about that, Minx? Like, what would you? I'm sure there's gonna be just so many aspiring producers watching this, going, "Shit!" Like, I know what's in my head. I have an idea of what my sound might be. I'm not sure how to bridge the gap. And also maybe I hear a lot from like our fellows and stuff like that. And I teach at UCLA too. And a lot of my students are musicians, and they're just like, I don't know what my sound is because my sound feels like it can be anything and everything because I'm so inspired by sound. I know LP, that's like we've had millions of conversations around that. Do you how did you find your sound? Do you feel like you're still finding it? Like is it sort of this thing that's living and breathing all the time? Do you have tips and
It's
tricks?
there. I don't think I need to. The most I would do is probably add some different elements to what I'm already doing,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to have a specific ride. I have to have a certain kick. And when I first started DJing, the one thing that drove me more than anything else was a bass line.
Mm-hmm.
A bass line,
Mm.
like a lot of people say drums. Drums are what make you move. Yes, drums. They make you move. But the bass line for me is what takes my track from here to here. Because we're all gonna have a kit. We're gonna have a tap kit. We're gonna have like a sub, whatever. That's fine. But I need some bass that's gonna just throb the entire floor because it just takes me to another place in my head. So for anyone out there wanting to produce music, you have to know what you love first. And if that individual, like you said, listens to everything, then they may be someone that makes everything because all music can be good music. Like I could take a track that's 120 BPMs and ride it into a track where I am playing 127 and make it work. All music can be heard. I can throw a country song in there. You never know it. Put it in the background. Kill out the kicks. Any music. That's why a lot of people say my sets, you never know what you're gonna get because that's the truth. Seriously, there's no holding back for me. So whatever you feel, I mean, it's a whole lot of YouTube videos out there that can teach you. But if there's anyone that inspires you, start listening to their music and what they're doing and what they're playing, even like DJ charts,
Mm-hmm.
and get inspiration from that. Because that's what I did.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah.
I just saw like LP
Like,
might as well have
whoo,
like a little light bulb over
the
her head
light
right now.
bulb.
Yeah, I
I
like to
saw
like
that bulb.
listen to um you know, the greats, and then like while I'm making breakfast or whatever, and just Shazam as much as I can. And then, you know, deep dive from there, like what label is that track that I like that they played on, da, da, da. So it's a full-time job, getting really good at that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Takes
I want to
work.
get I want to get deep and I want to get gay for just a second. It's Pride Month
Mm,
after all.
mm,
I am
mm.
curious. So earlier I mentioned like, I sort of see your career in two acts and I feel like act 2, the start of act 2 is you coming out. The reason I feel that way is because um first of all, you hit the like what a rollout. Like I don't think that it was like an intentional professional tool or anything that you did, but like you really hit the ground running after you publicly came out. But I ask because like there's just nothing more powerful to someone's glow up and holistic wellness than living in one's full truth in as many ways as possible all the time. Do you feel like coming out was almost like a transition? Obviously, it's a transitionary period, but a transition to just like your highest self? Like, do you feel like a better producer? Do you feel like a better DJ? Do you feel like a better mentor, a better businesswoman? Like, do you just feel more
All the
grounded, more
goods.
planted? Yeah.
All of it. All of it. All of it. It was, and I say that because before I mentioned anything or came out, I was held back. Like from a lot because I was holding that inside of me. And that was like a burden for me. Like I wasn't really fully living.
Sure.
So the weight that fell off me that day that I came out was massive. And it was only after I posted my message and started getting responses. Because when I posted the message, I was dead inside
Mm.
because I just felt like my career was going to be over. I wasn't going to have the love that I had, you know, from DJs, from people that may be homophobic, friends. You know, it was heavy. So I felt like I was gonna risk. I'm doing this and I'm letting go. I know when I kept saying I was gonna do it, and my youngest daughter said, she came and held my head and said, "It's okay, mom. Live your truth."
Mm.
I was like, "What?" That was that's what took it up. But it took Spotify to kind of like tap me on the shoulder with it.
Mhm.
And when Spotify came to me maybe a week prior and asked me if they could paint a mural on a building, the Ruth Ellis Center, which is in the LGBTQ supported place, uh, I was just like, what? Why are you calling me? And he says, well, I mean, because we want to get, we want to have LGBTQ artists up there. I was like, well, okay. Hey, call me out like that.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure.
Yeah, wow.
that. And I said, okay, well, let me get your information. And I called my manager. I was like, listen, I need to do this because the only way this is going to happen, I don't want a picture to appear on a building of me. I need this to just be out there. So it was like, let's just figure out a plan. We'll have the marketing people at Spotify hold off until you come out. And once you come out, then we're just going full throttle. And the support of my team and my friends, the sponsors, people were calling the phone, not text. They were calling me. I was crying. I was profusely crying. Like, oh my God. When I would see the phone, I didn't know if it was going to be a call because they were upset or because they were supportive. And they were supportive, all of them. I'm proud of you. I love you. I can't believe you. Can I take you out? I'm like, damn.
Not they was lined up.
Damn. Oh, okay, calm down.
I'm making reservations. I know that's
But
right.
it was crazy. I'm telling you, yeah. But that was definitely a change in more ways than one because the family of new people that I got, was massive. The love because a lot of people in the community were sending me messages going, "Oh my God, we have you. We love you, mother. We love you, and thank you for this." Oh, it was just beautiful, and it continues to be so. Like my Pride Month has been thick every weekend. Just whoo, the love. Yeah.
It's so important. Like, a couple of weeks ago, we did an artist roundtable with trans and non-binary artists, and Star Amarasu was on there. And me and Star are around the same age, and we were talking about how our generation specifically is so starved of representation, especially as you know Black AFAB people. Um, that has to be even more true for you, right? So like this idea
Yes.
that you would, really deep into your career when you don't owe nothing to nobody, when everything is feeling really safe and cozy and successful, to say, I have to do this. Like that is a bravery that is going to reverberate through generations of little Black queer kids, especially in this you know place in music where we can often be very much marginalized and sort of objectified in a lot of ways, ghettoized. Like that's gonna the
Mhm.
power of that, and then to put your face on a building of an LGBTQ center, and then to fucking drop Queendom, like a gay anthem on the gayest record label,
He, she, they. Oh my gosh.
FEMMY Award winning he she they for best record label, mind you.
Yes.
That's powerful, and that's it's sad that we sort of crave this representation and that it is so powerful, and that because of how not normalized it is, and that's
Yeah.
why we meet you with gratitude for making it normal for the rest of us moving forward. How did you, man, I'm just thinking about, like, you're so private, you're so shy. How did you push past that to share this big thing? Because I know you don't want to, you're not trying to tell nobody your business, period, let alone
Mhm.
something like this. Like, how did you?
And you know what? I wanted to do it, but I
Mm.
just needed a little of support. One of my best friends would say, "Girl, you need to just do it." Oh my gosh,
That sounds like
no!
my
See,
best
when
friend.
I talk about me, that's like I don't know what's gonna happen because one of my good friends would continuously say, "If you do that, your career will be over." Because all these men love you and, it's not a good thing. And I roll with that for a very long time. So
Mm.
I lived like I was supposed to. And like I said, the burden got too heavy. It just got too heavy. Mhm. And
How do
even when I was saying that people were calling me, I was like, some of them were saying, "Yeah, I already knew, but wow, I'm so proud of you." Oh, okay. Even
how do
Well,
you
I'm
think we
proud of
got
you and
so
I'm grateful.
yeah, same. How do you think we got so far away from, I mean, the origin of dance music is Black queer people.
yes, it is,
I
child.
mean, the hell. I just
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm so dumbfounded by that. Like when Lo and I started
Mhm.
um throwing crazy ass parties together in San Francisco, and I was obsessed with reading the history of dance music, and last night DJ saved my life, and Sylvester Stallone, and what, like I thought that we were still there because that those were the books I was reading, and then Rude Awakening, to find out that wasn't the case. It's still so confusing to me.
Absolutely. I don't know when we got away from it or why we had to be put in a bottle as far as like no one can know that you're this person. Because I mean, like Studio 54, like the majority of the stuff that was created is by the queers. Disco. I don't know where it fell off. And it could be when the straight people got a hold of it,
Yeah. I mean,
because, yeah, I mean, a lot of the gay people do disco. I just don't know what made it so that there had to be a line drawn between who made what kind of music, because it absolutely shouldn't be that way. Producing music is music. Music is universal. We don't have a color or anything like that. It's just there. So why judge? We just
yeah.
don't need that. We're in a tight ass world anyway. Let's just live. That's my thing.
Ain't that a word?
Read.
Ain't that a word? Um, I'm curious about how you've it feels like a stupid question because like to me I feel like the answer is obvious. It's like, well, bitch, because I'm lit, right? But like how have you carved out such longevity for yourself? And it just especially the last couple of years, I mean, it's just like your career feels like a breath of fresh air. Like it's just like you've really taken it up a notch, and not even just like on some fame shit, on some like successful trapping shit, like on a creative level, you are cooking. Like you just released one of the tracks, like the best dance tracks of the past fucking 5 years. Shout out to Yes, 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 LPGOB's
Yes, yes,
label.
yes.
Yes,
LP,
yes,
you forget.
yes.
Insane.
Like you are just cooking on all levels right now, firing on all cylinders. How do you continue? Like I know a lot of artists, it's easy to get burned out. It's easy to get jaded. It's easy to get cynical. It's easy to get really comfortable. None of that is it's I'm not getting any of that from you, girl. It is giving fresh face, skin's always glowing, smile is always on the face, fits are always fitting. You're waving at everyone like the Queen of England. Like it's giving life. And like how do you continue to just like more life, more life, more life? What's the trick?
I'm gonna
I'm
add
not even a
that.
DJ. I don't be touring or nothing like that. I just need to know for a
I'm gonna add
typical
to that.
Wednesday.
Asking for a friend. You also have a daughter.
I
And
have one too, girl. She only lives here half time and she's
you
cooking me.
you're two. So like how the fuck have you done so much in this industry while raising children? Like that is my biggest fear on the planet. Like how have yeah, everything Lauren said, plus a family. How?
In the meantime and in between time, because I worked at General Motors, so that held me down for decades, right? When it was time to just set it off and get into full on music, my daughters were grown. The youngest was in college, just going off to college, and that was during COVID. Uh, I just, did my best to keep the faith. I did. It was a struggle because, as I may have mentioned before, people used to think I was a man, and it's like, how can you play like this? And you're not a woman. And it was so many deterring factors that came with being this DJ. And I was just like, you know what? I just don't want to keep up with trying to fight against the guys or whatever. I'm gonna hang this up, but my friends would not let me throw in the towel. Um, and when COVID hit and I was let go from General Motors happily, I got into music full time. And I just started just producing tracks. And again, not at where I wanted to be with the sound. Uh, I always liked the thought of traveling and DJing. I remember Mike Huckabee telling me, he was at my house one day and teaching me the machine because I got the machine studio. So he came somewhere from traveling, and the next day he came to my house and sat with me for hours and taught me how to use the machine. And I said, you know what, I would love to travel like you do. And he looked at me and said, Minx, it's a lonely world. I don't know if you want this. And I said, oh, well, I mean, I said, you're gone for weeks at a time. And he says, yeah. And it's very lonely. And you're always alone. You know, you have to take care of yourself, and you're already a vegan. He said, and that might be hard for you. And I, after that conversation, thought, you know, I don't know what it would be like for me to get out there, but I also did not think it would happen. So with that, you have to have the right support, because when you get some people that believe in you and what you do, you're unstoppable. Having the support of my team and people giving me suggestions on what I needed to do, that's one reason that I was able to continuously beat that box and start creating the sound I wanted. And when I created the first sound that I actually wanted, the throne. When I did the throne, that was it. Because that was the biggest track I'd ever done. And I mean, it was living. And whenever I go places today, people are talking about that track. So it's like, okay, I loved it before people started talking about it, but I realized I found my sound. And I just feel like at that point, I'm just like, I'm kind of just starting on the next layer here. So that's when I just keep going up. So
A question that we get asked a lot is, how do you get a team? That's what a lot of, folks who come through our programming, and how did you find a team that supported you the way that they have and believed in you? And what was that first, what was the first team member, and how did that happen?
well, before I get to the team that I have, my golden team, the way that you find someone to represent you is, first of all, I would tell, like, because before guys started contacting me, I would tell my girls, listen, stay clean online. Don't put out anything that you don't think people would not want to see. Because if you think people feel negatively about it, don't do it, please. You kind of got to be like a good person in the shadows. What are you doing to stand out from the rest? Because we got a million DJs here. What's going to make you special? Now, I didn't ask myself that question. I just felt like I was wild as hell on the turntables or the CDJs. I was just playing everything, pop, 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 next, ride tracks, whatever. And I'm a Black woman from Detroit, the home of techno. I think that's what brought attention to me, and being 6'1" and dressing in heels. Like, so I did something different than everyone else did. I brought attention to myself, although I was very shy. I was trying to think of what could level me up. My team, I emailed, first of all, I looked at DJs that I loved, producers that I loved, and I looked at their representation. And this is a true story. Who represents this person that I love?
Yeah.
Then look at the roster. Then the email. Are you interested in a new little somebody joining you? I sent out a few emails, 3 emails, and one of them came back and said, I know about a walk in the park. Hell yeah. So my thing is, look at your idol and send an email. Just go for it. But think about what you have that's going to separate you from the rest. And production of music is definitely a plus, because anybody can be a DJ, but if you are producing, that's going to just take you to the next level. It's like Kenny told me, Moody Man told me that. My dream team right now, and I say I have a dream team because that is not a lie. This was during COVID. This was on the cusp of COVID, because right when I left GM, I was this badass. I was like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, blah, 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 blah. And then the news started saying there's some virus. I was like, no, not right now. Now, I did have a severance package, so I was good, but I needed to get my DJing going. I did get the team together. Started with Ryan at Liaison, and he's like, "You played for me a few times at Bunker, and I would love to be a booking agent." Okay, so once I got him, he immediately started getting me bookings, and he had this party that me and Honey Dijon was supposed to play in New York. She had just started a new series of parties, and COVID hit the next week, and we had to cancel it. But during COVID is when I got my management team together. So by the time things started clearing up, I had everyone I needed to flow. All it took for me to do was to start producing some hell of a tracks.
Check.
Find your team by any means necessary.
Awesome.
Shout out to J Mac too. That man stays on the right side of history. He
Man, what you
represents
say?
so many of our favorites, so much of our fam, and he's just that's a real one. That's a real one.
J Mac, Leo, Ryan, Drew. Woo, I'm good.
I know that we could yap here for the next several hours. So in the interest
Mhm.
of giving everybody back their evening, since we've been at this for about an hour, I have a question or a question comment. We'll see. Adrian Gonzalez says, firstly, thank you so much, DJ Minx, for attending the Dirty Bird Back to Basics event at the Embarcadero in San Francisco. I wanted to
Yes.
ask what advice you would give an aspiring DJ who feels stuck and or scared by music production.
Oh, well, don't be scared, Adrian. It is something that would make you a bit nervous in the beginning. You need to find comfortable tools to start with.
Hmm.
And once you get to the point of producing it, I mean, because we have Splice, we have Loop Cloud, and you'll hear a lot of people say, "I forget the samples." But people don't realize that anything you make music with is a sampled item. You just control it with a controller more so than using a loop or whatever. So I don't want to even talk about that. Samples are going to be
I
samples,
love
okay?
that. Yes.
Okay. It's just a controlling on a keyboard or whatever. So don't be afraid to use sampled pieces, loops, what have you. You got to start somewhere. So start off by downloading some apps, get a small controller, or you could just use a computer to start producing. And when you put something together that you feel sounds good, send it to me so I can listen to it.
Hey,
That is
Adrian, if you don't take her up
yes.
on that, I don't know, girl.
My
And you know
Come
what?
on,
God.
Adrian,
You
girl. You got to
might
get
be
it together,
interested
baby.
in a little middling nonprofit called This is FEMME House that offers a supportive community and all the open source education you can get your hands on. And in fact,
Oh
we are in the
my
middle
gosh.
of an Ableton course right now, Adrian. Tomorrow is our second live session of four, so you have not missed much. I encourage you to visit
Ooh.
thisisfemmehouse.com and
You
give
can
us a
also
try.
log on after the course is done and take it. It is free, sliding
Oh,
scale, pay what you want, free for our BIPOC community.
Free for our
Um,
BIPOC community. And you can take it at your own or at your own pace. We have a bunch of other ones up there right now. So avail yourself
avenues.
of our resources, Adrian, and thanks for being
There you go. Boom, boom, boom. All of that.
here. Minx,
Resources.
you are one of my personal heroes, and I am just so blessed to be alive at the same time that you're alive and learn from
Oh,
you,
so sweet. My
be
gosh.
mentored by you, be cared for by you. It truly means the world to me.
Oh,
And just thank you for the ways that you share yourself with us, personally, professionally, musically. It's so special.
I study you as a DJ and producer, and it is just such a treat that a hero is also so kind and giving of their time and cares about the community the way you do. So it's just that doesn't always happen. Thank you.
you're so welcome. You all are wonderful. And thank you for having me. Good luck with the Ableton class that's coming up. Much love to all of you and keep pushing.
And Adrian, I'm going to drop the link to our online course here in your answered question
Awesome.
and also in the chat for good measure. Thank you so much, Minx, and we'll see everybody soon. If you missed this, you fucked up, but we're recording it. It's going to be on YouTube and our blog in just a couple of days, so stay tuned for that. Much love to you, everybody. I am HERMIXALOT. That is my best friend, LPGOB. We are FEMME House, and this is Minx. Peace.
Peace out.